My favourite four-wheel drive trip ever was the adventure we had in Tassie's Wild West, where we covered 13 Ks in just over 31 hours. The Prado I drove surprised everyone with how well it went in such extremely tough conditions with only a very few basic mods. I really grew to love the old girl and I never intended to break it. But we were caught out in tough conditions that none of us expected. I will always remember that trip. Someone else who won't forget is Alan Gray, who has somehow rebuilt the Prado. Just run through the list of all the bits you had to repair on it, please, mate.
We had to do some repairs in Tasmania because of the we couldn't even drive the vehicle, so we replaced the radiator, thermostatic fan and the shroud, so as we could get it back to the workshop. We got it back to our workshop and we realised then that it had some quite serious damage done to both tail shafts needed to be replaced. There was some very heavy rock damage to the fuel tanks to the extent where they were about 30% less capacity in their both tanks. Prior to going away, we'd fitted some heavy-duty suspension of the terrain Tamers and the shock absorbers, and they performed very well. They're still on the vehicle and needed no other sort of work doing on them. We replaced the front drive shafts because of a bit of play in there and the wheel bearings at the same time, and obviously it had been through some very rugged terrain. We replaced the disc rotors because they were scored and the pads themselves with some gravel that had been caught in them. We replaced the fuel filters and oil filter. The winch had performed magnificently and no problem at all, except that we needed to replace a frayed cable when it got here. The towing strap, which we used for over 8 hours constantly throughout the night, it had frayed, of course, and we replaced that with a new one. These are the parts that we used in the repair of the vehicle after the trip. They're only a small part of our terrain Tamer range. I'll take you over to show you the repairs that were done to the body of the vehicle. We replaced the rear bumper bar that was ripped off. The flares were damaged and they've been replaced on the rears. There's some pretty deep scratches in the doors and we've buffed them out. Boss is reasonably happy about that. The side steps, they were quite damaged and both those were replaced. Some heavy rocks. Front flares, of course, they were damaged as well. And the safari snorkel, whilst it was scratched pretty badly, it stood up fairly well. And I think it's time we took it for a drive and just see how it performs after the repairs. Well, we've found this great track just out of Melbourne to try the vehicle out since we've done these repairs. Coming down, the brakes were very smooth, noticeably a big improvement. The steering is good, it's tight and firm and exactly the way you'd want it for off-road use. The suspension is great, it's not unduly rough and it's obviously been good since we put it on long before the trip. It's a good track to try it out on. It's a bit rough, but that's what it's all about. And I'm sure the boss will be pleased.
I never thought I'd see the Prado drive again, but with Al's expertise and some quality aftermarket parts, she lives to fight another day. And it costs far less than you'd think to rebuild it.